Hi, how are you? I hope this finds you well. I always say that. Each time I say that, it's because I am hoping that this is finding you in a place where you are well. But the more I learn about wellness, the more I learn about us spiritually, emotionally, and physically, which is wellness, whole person healing. We can't be truly well until all those parts are well, whole, healed, restored, functioning as they were designed. It is absolutely astounding to me, the depth of that. I'm going to go off of what I talked about last time. I'm back in that book. I'm almost done with it. James Nestor's book called Breath. In chapter 10, he starts talking about energy. Okay, so as a person who has studied essential oils and who continues to study essential oils, there was a whole lot of new age that I needed to get over. And I did that at his insistence because I believe that the Creator is often counterfeited. I don't believe creation can be outside of him. So the devil, you remember my wicker furniture talk? If you don't know that talk, then there's a title in that on the playlist for Learning in the Spirit. But Satan can take something that was already created and twist it and make it seem like it's new, that he's the originator, when in fact he's not. So I had to be sternly, I don't want to call it reprimanded, but that's the word that keeps coming to mind. When he would send me in that direction, and I would be like, no, no, we're not going to go there. That's New Age. Okay. So, in fact, it was at his insistence that I started learning that. In the process of it, I had to get rid of my own paradigm shifts. I had to get rid of my need to guard myself and understand I still guard myself, but I had to trust him and trust that I wasn't getting duped. Does that make sense? Okay. So the word energy comes up a lot in essential oil conversation. Frequency is another one of those words that comes up very often. And I had to get beyond that terminology and understand that really what that is life force. I have felt better about that. But it's so interesting that in listening to James's book, I have just more and more appreciated the fact that breath is something, and remember, exhalation. Not that inhalation isn't important, but this book has got such a paradigm shift regarding exhalation and the release of carbon dioxide. In my last discussion about this book, I talked about the need to praise, and God gave us life through exhalation. But in the process of giving us life, the way that carbon dioxide works, you're actually adding life to yourself. Okay? All right. Because of the transport ship, the hemoglobin. Remember me saying that? Okay. So not only are we giving other people life, not only are we praising the Father, the Son, Holy Spirit, not only are we doing those things, we are giving ourselves life because we are releasing carbon dioxide. Okay. When he was talking about some of these breathing practices that he has studied, he is talking about the word prana, which is here I'm going to go new agey. That's because it's in, all of these different religions. It's there. We don't have a word for that in Christianity. Okay? At least modern. But he immediately went to the Hebrew word, and it's ruach. And I may be pronouncing that wrong, but I also find it interesting that it's ruach. You have to have a little extra exhalation to say that word. When you look up that word in the Hebrew, it is interpreted spirit, breath, wind, when you're looking at it. Not a coincidence. I find that extremely fascinating. So let's look at energy. Energy, prana, is ruach, spirit. We're a spiritual being. Breath, that's how he gave us life. And wind. It is shocking to me, and I don't know why, how God has formed all that together. And here we are, separating spirit, soul, and body, and yet there's no way that you can doubt that connection. Energy is the life force. Spirit is the life force that we have. Don't we know that? I'm so urging you to read this book. It is so interesting. So interesting. We're going to cover more about energy soon. Blessings.